62 for there is an institute called IMS,
Yes.
Institute of Management Sciences. I used to teach the communicative mass communication. They are running a radio FM. I used to be there every week 2 hours. I was staying in Mayur Vihar, and my subject is mathematics. My PhD is in fluid mechanics. I worked in optics for 20 years.
Quite impressive.
So how did you come from Delhi to this place?
My destiny brought me here. I got a chance and I was looking for a break, as you know, that was
So
the
full
time.
time here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she's our academic coordinator.
So you are on this institute's visa.
Yeah, everyone.
Yes.
What you are doing in Delhi?
Actually, see, basically my roots are in Delhi, but I was staying in Gujarat because my
Gujarat
husband-
where?
in Silvassa, near Gujarat, which is Silvassa, which is capital for Daman and Diu,
I started my profession in Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad.
I was in space application center.
You must be having something about Nirma. My son is studying in Nirma.
Okay.
He's in third year chemical. So
Irma is where?
Nirma is
Where?
okay.
Where?
Where do I work?
No,
What is
which
Nirma?
location?
Where is Nirma? I didn't.
Where is Nirma?
You worked in Nirma?
No, where? Where is it?
It is in Ahmedabad.
Where? Exactly.
Ah, that I don't know. And,
So you love maths or physics?
I'm physics till 12th. I'm math till 10th.
So some question to me. I asked a lot of questions. No?
Okay.
So one question.
What question should I ask you?
You think if you want to know something, you ask.
Yeah, I want to know so many things from
One question.
one question. Why 0 raised to 0 is not 1?
0 raised to 0 is
It's
1.
not 1. As we say, if we have a 1 raised to 0, it's 1. 2 raised to 0, it's 1. But
See, there are something which are defined, something which are not defined. Okay. 0 to the power of 1 is 0.
Yes.
Correct or not?
Yes.
0 to the power of 1 is 0.
Yes.
How do you get 0 to the power of 0? 0 to the power of 0 is 0 to the power of 1 minus 0 to the power of 1 divided. See, 0 to the power of 0 is equal to 0 to the power of 1 minus 1
Right.
because 1 minus 1 is 0. So this becomes 0 to the power of 1 divided by 0 to the power of 1. So 0 to the power of 1 is 0 and this is 0. 0 by 0 is undefined. Therefore 0 to the power of 0 is undefined.
But do we say 0 to the power 0 is 0? It is still not defined, it seems.
That's what I said, it's undefined.
Undefined.
0 cannot be divided by 0. Therefore it's undefined. This is how you prove.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
My
So,
name is.
I'm mathematics, right?
Right, sir?
I'm fit mathematician.
You are 100%.
My PhD is in mathematics.
Hello, my name is Shahin Ahmed. I'm basically from
What's your name?
Shahin Ahmed.
What's yours?
Shobha.
Shobha, that's simple. And this is difficult.
Shahin.
Shahin, S-H-A.
SHAHEEN.
S-H-A.
HEEN.
W-H.
It's basically a falcon bird. My name. It means a falcon bird.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a falcon. Okay.
So I'm from Calcutta.
Okay. Bangla, I'm Bangla Bach.
I'm So I'm from there, and yeah, before coming here, I was working for a school, and I was a part-time lecturer for business in my same school, like Shantidhamma International School in Bangalore, and I did my BA.
So you learn Kannada?
No, I didn't. Only I know little bit. I don't understand Kannada.
Kannada barabar.
No, I stayed there. I did my education in Bangalore, and
So
I don't understand anything.
What's your favorite subject?
My business studies.
Business studies.
Yeah.
I'm an MBA in HR.
Okay.
Knowledge management is my subject.
Okay.
I taught all subjects in MBA. Law, business law, accountancy, economics, research methodology, HR, marketing, behavior. I have a book on corporate management communication.
Okay.
I taught in BMS. One of the paper was corporate communications, emotional intelligence in corporate communication.
Yeah. But we have like emotional intelligence. Yeah.
So, Usman University, one of the autonomous colleges using my book as prescriber.
Okay.
Because autonomous college can decide which book to HR is ISRO knowledge management. That's my HR project.
Yeah, myself Shehnaz Vora.
What is it?
Shehnaz. 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 Shehnaz.
See, when somebody asks question of your name 3 times,
Yeah.
spell it.
Okay. It's S-H-A-H.
I could get it, but I want that to happen.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeshudas.
Yeah.
Yeshudas, unless you spell it, nobody will understand what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Left. So spell is one minimum qualification. Though when we get a biodata, we will ask the person 3 times. I could read, but still I want to know how to pronounce it. SASI is my name.
Okay.
SASI can be Sasi, but my name is not Sasi, it is Shashi.
Shashi.
But then somebody will say SH. Bangla people have a problem. They will say Bazi.
No, we say
Everything
saucy.
starts with the Ba first.
Shashi.
No, sir, we say
Shasi.
saucy.
It's a Shoshi. It's all different, yeah. What's your name now?
Shehnaz. S-H-A-H-S.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm from Mumbai.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
Marathi.
Mumbai?
Marathi?
But I know, I understand, I can speak.
Okay. Otherwise, not Marathi. Where are you?
No, Gujarati Muslims.
Okay.
But like I'm born and brought up in Mumbai only. My parents were from
Where in Bombay?
in like suburban areas, not a suburb.
I used to stay in Kolaba. I used to stay in Kolaba.
Oh, okay, Kolaba. I'm in the end, opposite of Kolaba.
Yeah.
And my subjects are like biology and chemistry. Maths also.
What is the relation between biology and chemistry?
Biology and chemistry, they are like cannot be separated together. Like you cannot separate them because in biology you talk about all the living things. Any living things, of course, you have a chemical things also, like your foods and everything. So they are interrelated together. But apart from this, chemistry has something inorganic, extra things which are not living.
Every doctor has to learn one paper. That's called biochemistry. Bio. I taught one paper on biochemistry.
Yeah, that's why they cannot be separated. You must know both.
Every medicine,
Hmm.
a doctor learns medicine. Medicine is
Yeah.
chemistry.
Chemistry.
Used on biology.
Hmm.
I have an MS in psychotherapy and counseling. So we learn biochemistry. We learn to learn how the drugs can be used to control your not body, manas also, mind also, and your brain also can. Okay, one peck makes you not to speak. Give it to somebody who don't speak. One peck, he will start giving lectures on any subject.
Yeah.
So biochemistry decides your basic behavior pattern. Yeah.
My name is Mamta. Mamta.
Mamata,
Yes, Mamata.
MAMATH,
Yes.
biology, grassroot. They are good, grassroot, no? Trinamool, grassroot.
Yeah, Trinamool.
Trinamool is grassroot. You never knew.
I don't know.
Mamta Banerjee.
Mamta Banerjee. Yeah, I know Trinamool. Yeah.
You are very close to each other, you don't know.
Sorry, Shani. Yes, Mamta Banerjee.
It takes this much time for Bangla people to spark. I thought Bangla sparks very fast.
Because they are out of India, so that's why maybe they
Doesn't matter,
No,
yeah.
Mamta Banerjee is like always hot top.
Her party is called the Root.
Trinamool, yeah.
Trinamool is?
Trinamool party.
What does it mean in English?
Grassroot.
Grassroot. Mamata is grassroot.
I'm from Kerala.
Hmm?
And I'm from Kerala.
Where?
Kozhikode.
Not Kozhikode.
It is Kozhikode.
Kozhikode.
And then
I studied in Kozhikode, Devagiri College. We studied in same college.
Alright.
I worked in Kozhikode.
Okay, and I studied from
Women's College.
I went there to inaugurate environment science programs.
Okay.
2006 June 29th. I was in university that time. I was director for academic staff. Teaching teachers was my job. University teachers.
Which is most difficult.
University teachers, not at all. Today I taught 300 teachers. Yesterday I had 300. Every day I teach a lot of teachers. That's my job. No, full. All the Gulf teachers I'm going to teach. Bhavans will come. Again July I'm coming for Bhavans. What do you do?
I got married in Gujarat and I settled there for the last 25 years and I was working as a teacher there. I was teaching English and social science for middle school.
Now what do you do?
Now at present I'm a tutor here in London Academy teaching spoken English as well as IELTS and other grades, smaller grade students.
What do you like in social science?
I like history.
History. Why?
The way my tutor had taught me when I was in 10th standard that inspired me to take arts.
What's the relation between social science and English?
Actually, they are the combo. Side of both.
Which is bigger, social science or English?
Both are equivalent.
26 letters makes English.
Yes.
4 letters makes, the first 4 letters makes history.
Yes.
A, B, C, D. A, D and B, C.
Yes. Absolutely.
A, D?
Yeah,
It's interesting that you
before
know this.
Christ and anti-dominion.
Oh, that right.
You are all AD, I am BC. I am before computers, you are in after digital.
And it is what after?
No, it is anti-dominion.
It's really good.
And for mathematicians, history is a number line. With a 0 here, BC this side, AD this side.
This side, yes. Timeline.
So all negatives are BC, all positives are. I love history. I have got one Excel sheet. For whole world history is in one Excel sheet. You ask me anything, I'll tell you the date in India. Only I have to have a laptop open. What happened in India during what happened in Europe? Because one column here, one column there. Pick it up, I'll tell you what is it. Kerala poet. During that time, who was Wordsworth was there. Who was the Kerala poet? Because it's all matrix, mathematics matrix, rows and columns. So I made the whole history into one,
Excel sheet.
everything in the world. Because I teach civil service.
Okay. They have a pretty.
Civil service is full of history.
Yes. It's
I don't have books. Today I gifted my book. 1,000 who makers of India. 1,000 people name. What contribution, what they did in which field.
Must be taking some medicine.
Who?
Civil service is so difficult, like, it's
I have got a lot of children who are preparing for civil service.
like every parents they dream that the children should be like civil.
See, civil service is the toughest because we have 20 lakhs people writing. I had a book, I don't have the book. You can download all my books in my website.
Okay.
No cards also. I'm finished.
Can give us the name and
DrTPS-shiksha.in. Shiksha is my trust.
Shiksha.com, the
No,
online.
that is a Bangalore commercial. www.drTPS. That's my name, Dr. TPS. DR for Doctor, TPS, temperature pressure second. Taku police service. Thermal power station. TPS. हाइफन शिक्षा हिंदी में शिक्षा बोलते हैं ना शिक्षा हम शिक्षक हैं तो इसलिए शिक्षा नहीं उसका नाम shiksha.in in for India. There you go and then look at my book. You will see prelims handbook, preliminary examination handbook for civil service. So 20 lakhs people will write. 5 lakhs people only go to the exam hall. 20 lakhs register because 15 lakhs fear of exams. Because once they write, one chance is lost. There is no easy way. There are tricks.
Tricks, yeah.
Tricks.
Like,
So what I
Tricks
teach
and
is
tips.
tricks. History I will teach like this. Maths I will teach using tricks. It is not who can write faster.
okay.
You may teach English, but there the English is different. You are fat. What is antonym for fat?
Skinny.
Skinny or thin,
Skinny,
thin, lean.
lean,
Slim.
slim. These are the options. Tell me the answer. You understood?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll ask you what is antonym for thin?
Same with the fat, stout,
Thick.
rotund.
Yeah, what did you say?
Thick.
Yeah, most appropriate for thin is thick. Therefore, see, mathematics rule says that opposite of opposite has to be same, right? So English is full of mathematics. Unfortunately, English teachers doesn't know mathematics, therefore they make
Yeah.
such mistakes.
I'm the person.
That is why they make mistakes.
Yes.
For me, thin is an English word.
Correct.
No, it's a maths word.
That's what, yeah.
Thick is a maths word.
Yes.
So I know opposite of thin is thick, opposite of thick is thin. So why do you say fat is thin? Wrong. Now slim beauty. Everybody want to be slim beauty. Is there anybody who want to be lean beauty? So that means slim and lean are not same. They are
Lean
different.
goes with certain negative aspect. of
Yeah, lean is without energy. Slim is with energy. You will not
With
you will
luster.
not fly. They will still stay.
Yes.
Right? So which is correct? Now fat is with energy or without energy?
Extra energy.
Fat is without energy.
Yes.
Fat with energy is called
Rotund.
Strong.
stout.
Stout
Both
or
are wrong.
rotund.
Now when you say stout, fat with energy, so here it should come lean without energy. This way it is lean, not slim also. Stout, lean. Fat, slim. This is logical reasoning, not English. So you think this is an English question, it's not an English question, it's a logical reasoning. So you apply logical reasoning in learning, you will never forget. Now once you teach logical reasoning, any question they can answer. So we don't teach logical reasoning without example. So I'll take example to show. These are examples to show. By doing a lot of examples, you will equip yourself. Okay. I'll push you into water to learn swimming, not to push you into that same water throughout life. Even if you fall in a different water,
You know to swim.
yeah. So teaching maths, physics, chemistry, biology, history, English, any subject is not to learn that subject. By which you will learn. I teach driving on a road, but not to drive throughout your life on that road. No, you can drive on
In the desert as well.
any road, anytime.
Any road afterwards.
So I am taking one example of maths, physics, chemistry up to 10th grade to teach. See, unless you understand the objective of learning all, otherwise the student will ask, why should I learn history? No, exam. No, it is not for exam. It is not for exam. First they memorize. After memorizing, so I taught English. My starting teaching in 84 was English. When did you take birth?
1970.
That time you were 14 years old.
Yes.
I started teaching. I have been taking, I took, I was taken, I had taken, I had been taking, I shall take, I shall be taking, I shall have taken, I shall have been taking. This is how I taught tenses.
That is how we learned in Kerala.
You learn like a cow eating grass. Then take it out.
Yeah, we just
We always say.
Chew it again and again. That's what is learning.
Yeah.
Okay? Good. So you tell me now what's my subject?
I'm confused.
Confused, no? No, sir, no. I'm recording all this. Yeah.
My name is Mangal Jain. Mangal Jain.
Mangal Pandey, I know.
No, Jain.
Jain also, I know. Combination I am seeing first time.
Okay. I belongs to Central India, Madhya Pradesh, precisely in
Madhya
North.
Pradesh. We think about Madhya Pradesh during lunchtime, breakfast, dinner.
Incredible Madhya Pradesh.
Precisely Indore.
Eh?
Indore.
No.
Yeah, so the only city in India where you have IIM and IIT both. Anything else if you would like to know
So
about?
you can ask.
I've
What do
been
you
hearing-
do? What do you do and what are you doing?
I am assisting all my teachers to do well in their job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are a motivator, teachers trainer.
No.
You are an encyclopedia.
No. I'm just a support system to the system.
Okay. So now you can ask.
He is full of positive energy.
Good.
He has all the
So who is negative? That only goes to positive.
We all have some part of negativity. We all have. So, no matter and negativity, we always coexist.
So we realize what you are good at. You are good at teaching the teachers, right? As Ma'am Shobha said, that this is one of the most difficult tasks to
See, you are
teach.
teachers. So I am speaking in terms of teaching teachers.
Right.
You get me marketing people, I'll teach them how to market.
I'm giving
And MBA person. So when I have to teach marketing, I'll teach marketing.
So we have a walking Google here. We have a walking Google here.
See, it's logic. It's all logic. Anything learning is logic. I go for architects, suggesting what to do. I teach cooking. It's nice, no? Bangla, they cook different. They add fish in the end, dust it and
I don't like fish.
you don't like. You are fishy.
No, it's like I
You could ask me if you want.
I'm so sorry. I need to take a leave because I have a class and she also has a class.
What are you going to teach now?
Today I am teaching physics. It's 12th grade. And I wish I had something to take autograph from you because you are.
He is going to see you also.
You want my autograph? I'll sign here.
Yeah.
This is S,
Okay.
this is A, this is S, and this is A. This is my name, Shashi.
Art also.
That's my name, Shashi.
Nice meeting you. We all had a good time. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, it's one class.
Okay, sir.
So nice meeting you.
You don't have to go?
No. My class begins at 4.
Now you know the logic of teaching, logic of learning. This is how I teach. You wanted a sample? Done.
I was just wondering, it's almost the tutors here at the center could be kind of a miniature of what you're doing. You do like multiple things, okay, and as and when required, you tap on your experience and your knowledge in different things. They're also our tutors as well. They are multi-subjects, or even they teach different subjects at a time. Maybe they prepared for English, but the sibling asked another question from another. They're well, okay. So the question is that do they have to compromise? A tutor or a teacher? That's my question I wanted to ask you. A tutor or a teacher? Does it matter how deep his or her knowledge is in the subject?
It is more of your heart.
Then the
No teachers require a good brain, but they need a good presence of mind, good aptitude, good attitude. That's what makes them good. And a passion.
Passion teach.
But the traditional touchstone was, is he able to answer all the questions under the sky?
See, there is a saying, paduthamulla means you should have knowledge. Traditionally that was it. You should have padutham, a knowledge in that subject, and who can make your student a knowledgeable person.
Yeah.
Correct. Today's knowledgeable person is not delivering information. You must tell where informations are available is also good enough. So you must aware. These are all the places I get. See, for example, I asked the antonym for that. How do you check this? You go to www.wordhippo.com.
Yeah.
Type in the word. You will get antonyms. 26 of them you may get. Why? None of them are exactly fitting. Now you take one of them, try the antonym, whether this is available or not. It will not come. Then you will see maybe the 13th one will give you. So this is the most appropriate. So this practice, if you can tell your children, you are a good trainer.
Is it
You are a
this
good
particular example? Is it a good way of learning or teaching in the logical way, or through random? We all most probably will be using the right word at the right time. Could go wrong, but it's not in the logical sense or from tables memorized. It comes through exposure,
See,
using it
then
all.
what will
Isn't
happen?
that not natural?
Both are required. See, for example, a young child may not learn. There are two methods. I can learn ABCD, but I can learn through words. We never learned A, I, E. We learned Tara, Para. Then we know this is Ta, this is Ra, this is Pa, this is Ra. But what is logical reasoning? Tomorrow I will not give you a dictation on Tara and Para. I will give you a dictation on Pata, which uses these two knowledge and produce a new one. Tara,
Yes.
Ta is there. Para, Pa is there. So my dictation is not Tara nor Para. My dictation is on Pata.
Combination of different.
You understood? So you learn systematic, but questions will become totally unsystematic. That is where students fail. They only learn, you give question and you give answer. Same question, same way, same answer they will write. That any parent can write. What is human being? Human being is to do this logical reasoning, mixing of knowledge, creating something new from what is learned. For that you have to have the time. So when I teach, I must tell this is what for I am teaching. That's what we make teachers innovative, creative. They are not reproducing, they are producing new knowledge from whatever. If they don't produce, your children also will not produce. That's why most of the competitive exams they fail. That's why when I said Mamata, immediately I said grassroots.
So connections.
Which book will tell you this?
No, it's your practical knowledge.
Got it? How many people, including those people working in Trinamool, knows Trinamool is grassroots? Nobody will know. You ask people what is Hartal, they don't know. I don't know Hindi, they say. Hartal.
The lock.
There is no point in learning Hindi if you don't understand this. Yesterday I was asking one of the teacher which song you like. Same question was asked in the radio program also. So I gave the same there. Aankh mein barlo pani. But I asked them to sing Aankh mein barlo pani. I said the feeling is not coming because you don't know the meaning. We learn a lot of things without understanding. See, many people don't explain things. It's a beautiful question. This is logic. When did I do this? Now, today. Nobody asked me this question earlier. It's not that I learned from my professor and some textbook and then I tell you. It comes. That is logical reasoning. So most of our examinations in this world is going to be logical reasoning. That is why the best IIT students go to MIT. Out of 127 only passes. Rest of them fail. Because it's all based on logicals. That's why in IAS many people fail. Out of 5 lakhs, only 20,000 people pass in the logical reasoning, analytical skill. Rest of them. 4,80,000 people are failing because not because they don't know maths, physics, chemistry. That's not what they want. When you learn all these, there is an underlying logical reasoning which you have to acquire. If that is not happening, you are wasting your time. Mamata,
Yes.
Tell me.
When you started with your career as a tutor,
I am not.
I mean, as a teacher, I would say.
A teacher was when I was.
In 1984.
No. When I was grade 2 or grade 3. Clack, clack, click, click, clue, clue. Every nani shabdam. Ada Suresh Thurinju noki. Ada Muttathure Meena. This was our Malayalam text. Whatever teacher says, I will memorize, come back home. We have pillars in the veranda. Each one is my student. I will teach this to each pillar and ask question. If they don't answer, I have got a stick bit. So I became a teacher to all the pillars in my house. My mother used to broom. I will go and teach mother. This is what I learned today in my class. So if you have that inborn teaching, correct? We keep doing it. Everyone. Wherever we get a chance, we keep doing it. That's in blood, so you can't stop. Somebody travels with me in the, wherever when I travel, I get, the driver I teach many things to him. The whole travel I will start teaching him many things. Inquisitiveness in learning, no, comes through a lot of questions. Otherwise, why do I ask, where are you from?
Yeah.
These are all, it's not knowingly, it comes automatically. A teacher is one who wants to know. No? We ask a lot of questions.
So normally the training method, like interacting, talking to them, and
They bring up. That's what happens.
It will be quite unstructured. I mean, like,
Totally
so
unstructured.
Will it take to where we are heading for? If
Yes.
we have something, how do you manage it? How do you?
It's not managing. See, maybe that is a very casual discussion, but inside them they will go, yeah, this is how I must do it.
Can we plan and fulfill something from certain?
Every subject, like this maths, instead of that, ask 100 questions, you know. How do you logically explain this? Or maybe how do you explain a concept?
Teachers in the organized teaching structure they have to.
See, I get only very specific subjects. See, for example, very specific subject, geography alone. Hyderabad must have taught more than 6,000 geography teachers. Only geography class.
You normally the method will be like this, interactive, or
Yeah.
you will have something.
I'll take syllabus.
Yeah, and you go through it.
I go through it. See, I've taught maybe 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th in every subject in Kerala.
And there was a long running a marathon teaching or revision for some students, 10 days students or something. You did that. What was the method?
See, the method is I will give them I will ask them to read one chapter. Ask
All
them
together they will all separately.
all of them. See, if it's a Hindi class,
Oh, yeah.
I may ask them to listen to one of the say Amitabh Bachchan's Koshish Karne Wala Ko Haar Nahi Hota Hai. So that song I will ask them to repeat. I will not sing because I know Amitabh Bachchan sings better than me. So why should I make it lower than that? So I listen to that. I know that. So I will also make my children to repeat it many times, though by heart. Look at the script. Assume that's a chapter which I have to do. I am taking a very generic one. So they have to repeat it, read it many times. Then discuss. Make a small group. Maybe the active people will become leaders. They will call people, and then everybody is distributed. Put them together. Sit down. Create 10 questions from that. If they can create 10 questions, they understood the subject. A successful student is one who can create maximum questions which will appear in exam. Correct? If I can print 10 questions and all the 10 questions, man, I got 100%. It's very simple logic. If I can predict only 8 out of 10, 80% is there. No? So who gets good marks? Who can predict questions? But what are we doing? Why teachers are not teaching those 10 questions which are predictable? Because it's highly risky. If they don't come, they will scold teachers. No? So what do? We give 200 questions. Safe. But among the 200, which are the 10 which are most important if they know? Success is that. There are many ways to reach from this place to my hotel. But which route I will take? If I know all the routes, I will take the shortest one. So it's a trick. Learning.
So they prepare questions in their groups.
Yeah.
And what they do?
Then they answer themselves. Share among them. If one will evaluate others. See, for example, most of the examination, you have seen answer sheets, they start one paragraph end there. No paragraph separation, single paragraph. It's boring to read anything. There is a psychology which goes in. See, I have done one exercise. I was director for Academic Staff College. I got a lot of teachers, 40 teachers from different subjects. That was evaluation time. So teachers, I told them to get their answer sheets. I took all the answer sheets. Looking at the answer sheet, I told this much mark out of 60 you get. I have not to spend much time. It's only 2 minutes for me to evaluate an answer sheet. And I told them, I wrote it down somewhere, I told them, you evaluate and tell me how much you got.
For descriptive writing.
Anything. Descriptive, not that objective.
No.
Objective is a very bad way of evaluating somebody. You want to know somebody's knowledge, ask them to write one paragraph and then give it.
But then evaluation becomes very difficult, isn't it, for descriptive?
That is what I'm saying. The descriptive, if not required, if they know how to write paragraphs, if they know how to highlight their point. There is, when you read a paragraph, there are rules. Comprehension, there are basic rules. The first paragraph and the last paragraph should tell you the story, gist or the introduction. If both gist and introduction is not given, that paragraph is waste. To read a newspaper, I don't require much time. I just see the newspaper and tell you all the news. Because I will read only little bit here and there. When a book comes to me, Shashi Tharoor's book, Why I Am a Hindu, I finished in 10 minutes. Because I read here and there, I know, oh, this is the content. See, to read a LKG book, how much time will it take? You know what is there, no? Correct? But still you will glance through. Then you can tell the rest of it. To get an ingredient of a food for a good cook, you take some sample and say, oh, this is how it is prepared. Because we have gone through much of experience in this.
You have mentioned that a good teacher is driven by inquisitiveness or the curiosity about anything around, or at the same time when you are in a class, the student is equally curious about certain things. So a student-driven curiosity is the direction for the teacher, or
Yes.
teacher-driven curiosity
Both.
is the direction?
It's a osmosis. Two.
It's a give and take of the curiosity.
See, I have a friend who sits beside me. If I am having interest in cricket, he will also have interest. Otherwise, he will not become my student. He will not become my friend. Assume you have been given with a lot of balls around. By mistake, you will kick.
When you are with a lot of kids, then maybe let's say we have 4 students sitting in your class. All 4 are having different curiosity, and you have certain learning objective which you have to deliver at the end of the day. So how to bring that curiosity to the same thing, and from there you can take it forward?
See, generally the 10 minutes, 40 minutes is a period which psychology says. I have a book on pedagogies and practices on e-web net learning. How to analyze your 20 minutes class, 40 minutes period. 20 minutes class, 40 minutes period. Every objective is defined, 20 minutes you must deliver. The first 10 minutes is to lead you to that. The last 10 minutes is from here lead to the next class.
Wrapping up and intro. Building.
What did we learn yesterday?
Yeah, we begin with the building.
That is where
diagrams.
I drag you to my point. That is called Jnane's principles of learning. See, most of us are teachers, probably. I have a MSc, MPhil, PhD, I can become professor in a university. When I became director, I first thought, what is the difference between B.Ed, M.Ed, and no, all this educational background is not there. We start teaching in higher classes. What is lacking is because we don't understand the psychology. But we all know how to teach because we have been learning from teachers, but they are not good samples.
But in a little commercial context, if I put the education in the current scenario, the way you have answered the question of Mr. Hassan, that when you are in a class, you generally act as a facilitator. When I say I act as a facilitator, I try to bring out the best which is available in the student himself or herself. But at the end, as a learning output, the student will think that what you have done. I mean, you have recited a poem of Mr. Bachchan and you have told me to bring out the 10 questions, and then you have told me to give the answer of those 10 questions. What is the value addition which I have got from this 1 hour which I have spent with you?
Okay. See, the same thing I could have recited, explained the meaning.
Two options I have. Same thing I could have recited, gave the meaning. That's what generally classroom happens. That ends there, his learning. Okay? That can teach 1/4 of the knowledge. But if Amitabh Bachchan sings and then make it may teach not 1/4, not even 25%, 20% or 15% related to the exam. So I am reducing, that's your point. It's good. But you know what will happen? He will have an interest in going back, learning another 30% by himself. Whereas when I teach and give 25%, he will not go. And he will learn.
He is stimulating their curiosity.
That is what I do. So my objective of teaching, because today there are a lot of options. Earlier that was not the teaching. When he was telling the teacher gives, you have to study. You have no other option. To get a book in the library, I don't get. Today you don't have, because you can just Google. And the next chapter when he comes, he will hear somebody's song and come in my class and ask me the rest of the question. So he will come with the 15% knowledge and ask me to provide another 30%. Got it? So then I will start learning from him. Then I am highly thrilled to have such a child in my class who will teach me something which is high. And I may not know the answer, nothing wrong. Tell him I don't know the answer, but tomorrow I'll tell him. Correct? Every student will come to such teachers. But if you start bluffing, this much only I know, a day when he knows more, he will say, there is no point in going to you. I become a magnet. No positive, negative charge. I am a magnet. I have got both charges with me. I attract negative people, I attract positive people also. That's why I have the brightest students with me. My students are in MIT. And I have students who failed from many universities. California University failed and came to me. Why? Both are there. You give me the worst student, I'll make him good. You give me the best student, I'll raise him from there. You give me a silent student, I will make him violent. Give me a violent student, I know how to make him silent. So I am adaptive. That's my book is called Adaptive Learning. I adapt to the situations, adapt to the style, adapt to the subject, adapt to the audience. See, I teach English. But do I teach English the same style in KG and PG? LKG, I will teach English in a different style. A for apple. If I go to Gujarat when I teach, I will teach differently.
Yeah.
Punjab, A for apple, B for bad apple. C for chota apple. D for dusra apple. But can I tell the same joke in Malayalam? Because they don't understand this Hindi at all. Our communication reflections are all different. You asked a question, brilliant question, so I gave a brilliant answer. When somebody asks a different question, I reflect. Every teacher has to reflect. My idea is, you look at reflection so that you will also raise. So in my class, I have got LKG teachers, nursery teachers, and 12th class teacher. I have PhD students. Principal will sit full throughout, headmaster will be sitting. In a hotel, I make chicken biryani, mutton biryani. I'll also make pappad. Everything is enjoyable to everyone. So the grade doesn't matter. How do I supply and what do I supply? What form I supply? I have to make it tastier. That's it. Good enough?
Any extra session should be covered? Yeah. Alright, so I think we also.
I don't have my cards, but my.
Yeah, we have
We will publish it in our week, but
No, I have it in my room. Today I got a bunch. Hundreds I take. Maybe 200, 300 I'll take. By the time I finish, all the 300 will go. So I got maybe some 6,000 one printed. In 1 month it goes.
Alright.
Good.
he is a scientist, educationist, trainer.
Teacher, trainer.
Inshallah.
and a lot more.
Okay.
Just drop
Even
in.
he doesn't know exactly what
Yeah,
he's.
but you have to place it. Over to him.
So you tell who are you?
Okay, I am Baiju.
Baiju.
I am mainly taking math. I am from Kerala, Ernakulam district.
Where in Ernakulam?
Ernakulam, Moattuda.
Where in Moattuda?
Moattuda, Kadavur.
Which school you studied?
School, St. Joseph High Secondary
Which
School.
college?
Maharajas College, Ernakulam.
Ernakulam. Which year you passed?
2016.
What did you do there?
Then I came here.
No, which course you finished?
Then I did one training program called CRET Center.
There you studied BSc Mathematics,
PG, postgraduate.
postgraduate, MSc.
MS.
Who was your principal, that lady?
I
No, no.
forgot.
I used to come there for a WWS program, Walk with a Scholar. Where did you do graduation?
Nirmala College in Moattuda.
Moattuda. I came there also.
Oh, where you place exact place?
I don't have, I keep traveling. So I came to Ernakulam. We have a program called World Walk with a Scholar, Higher Education Council Kerala. So Maharajas College was one of the center where I came to teach.
Your home place where?
Kannur.
Kannur.
But I studied in Cochin University,
Beside.
MSc Mathematics.
Same.
Eh?
We are not. This also nice.
That's where I studied. So you stayed in the hostel?
Yeah. One room, one house. We took friends together. We took one house and we stayed.
So you ask, what do you do here?
Here I am tutor.
Yeah, but what do you teach?
Mainly math, then science also.
Today what are you going to teach? You don't know, no?
Today? Today one class I took math, grade 9. Now I go IGCSE.
What was that portion which you taught?
That volume and surface area of prisms.
Eh?
Volume and the surface area of prisms. Cuboid, cube,
Okay.
then triangle.
Not prism is different. Eh? Cube and cuboid is for maths.
Yeah.
Prism is in physics.
Yeah. Rectangle prism and
Prism meaning is different.
Three objects.
yeah, all these steps.
Now what are you going to teach?
Now I IGCSE at excellent math.
Maths. What? Which portion?
That I don't know. After
They
reaching,
will come.
They will.
Very good.
After reaching what I
You are ready for anything.
Ready for the shit.
Eh?
That I-
Great, no?
Eh?
Enjoy?
Yeah. enjoy.
What time they'll come?
I will go home.
Oh, they will, you
6
will
to
go.
8.
So you know the student.
Yeah, I know.
They will not send you, this is the portion. Why can't they send you? Why can't you add that? They can send a message, this is what I want to learn, well in advance.
Sorry,
They can send a message saying, this is what I want to know.
even they don't know what they want.
Then who knows?
That
They get assignment from schools.
Yeah.
As soon as they get, they reach home.
No, we are experts. We don't know. We don't need one day before.
You don't require.
No, we don't.
Don't you think if you get 1 hour
Other
before,
subjects we need
2
math.
hours different, you can do well?
but we cannot expect from our customers.
Okay, they don't give. That's what I'm asking. Just to know. And you,
My name is Aisha
Aisha,
from Chennai.
Chennai. Where in Chennai?
Pushava.
Eh?
Pushava.
Where is that?
Near Central Station. South Madras. Near Marina.
Okay. So you also studied in which place?
I'm proper from Chennai. My school.
Studied in which place?
Chennai.
Which college?
College Etiraj.
Ethiraj.
And I completed my B.Ed in Mada. Kundatur.
Okay.
Mada Engineering. And I was working as a teacher, mathematics teacher. Here I'm working for 2 years.
Why are you here?
For teaching.
Mada is better, no?
Mada, I just did my B.Ed.
But some place that is better place to teach them.
Where
Where you were teaching earlier.
Where in India?
Uh,
Yes, of course, everywhere it's a better place only, but I like to teach. I want to get exposure with different surroundings.
you like to teach one or many?
I like to teach many as well as one.
There's a difference between group
The
study.
students are good, they ask a lot of questions.
Of course. If they are not asking, I'll make them to ask.
So what did you teach last?
Now today, actually I was teaching for university students in the morning.
What subject?
I do mechanics. Mechanics with mathematics. It was like that. And now
What
I'll
is
be
mechanics?
mechanics with mathematics. Actually, mechanics is a physics. Mathematics is based on that. The units will be given, you should use a formula and you have to work out the answers. That's all. Probably it's work done. Today I was just teaching only work done.
My PhD is in fluid mechanics.
I am not a mechanics, but I am trying to learn mechanics.
I love mechanics. My subject is mechanics.
Actually, I need a tutor for mechanics. I was just demanding for the
Heat transfer, fluid flow,
Mm.
convection, radiation.
Ah.
That's my PhD.
No, actually, that was my interest, but I'm not getting a good guide to.
Goldstein book, Classical Mechanics.
Okay.
Book number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Book number 2,
Mm-hmm.
Engineering Mathematics.
Engineering and mathematics.
Engineering Mathematics. There is a
Maths.
book called Engineering Mathematics.
Author.
Any author.
Okay.
You look at engineering mathematics
Mm-hmm.
because mechanical engineering students will have to learn mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
That will give basics in mathematics.
That's true, actually.
I was
true.
teaching engineering college, mechanical engineering, mathematics, chemistry, physics,
Okay.
English.
No, here we are like multi subject teachers.
I love such teaching.
Yes, it's really very good exposure and
Can learn a
Now
lot.
Aisha can teach maths, physics, chemistry, biology, mechanics up to grade 12 or university level.
Good, no?
And English too.
Huh?
English alone I am not teaching.
You're not teaching?
I am not teaching English.
You should start.
Actually, I have started my career with mathematics. Slowly, I am just joining with chemistry, physics, and
She's
all.
a good learner.
Yeah, I still want to be a learner. I can enjoy my teaching. When I'm a learner, I'm getting new ideas.
Any question to me?
I will ask directly.
You can ask anything.
What for here? I'm ready to.
I asked him for a job.
Uh-huh.
Then he said there is one Aisha, she is very smart. So as long as Aisha is there, no vacancy.
Ya Allah.
So I will straight away tell you what I am.
Okay. So I'll see. I'm ready.
Eh?
I'm ready.
So we have to fight and then find out who is better in front of them. They are evaluating us.
No. I don't like to fight. I like to learn.
She wants to quit.
No, I don't quit. I like to
No.
learn. I like to learn from my opposite.
So you ask, I'll tell you.
You want me to ask questions? Based on
Anything.
right. In that case, actually, we were not having the exposure for the international curriculum since we are coming from basically we are coming from the Indians. But we can handle international curriculum. There's not much difference between that curriculum and this curriculum. Not much difference. But there are some parts that we need to get trained. Like, for example, if I go with ATXL, transformations and the bearings, we were not teaching this one in the Indian curriculum. Probably I was teaching for CBSE grade 10 and grade 2. So we don't see this topic at all. So transformations and the bearings is a kind of topic which we need to get exposure. We need to learn many things. And how to relate the problem solving questions for mathematics. We need to create a lot of questions based on that. And how can we make a student to understand, to give an interest to learn these subjects, because probably 60% of the students, they are just studying this mathematics for not their own interest, just they have to pass their course. So in that case, what is the correct link where I can get for this IB, HL, IB, SL, mechanics and statistics?
You ask one problem, I'll give a solution.
Yes, of course.
Easiest method to get this is 9447437948. Send a WhatsApp.
It's a phone number.
You
I
get
need a
answer
link.
for most of the questions.
I need a link. There's a difference between the question in the phone number and the link.
That's a link. Link can be a website, it can be something.
Okay, sure.
You WhatsApp in that number, you'll get the
Oh,
answer.
that sir's WhatsApp number. Sorry.
Oh, she's working out on the number.
No, I was just thinking of sir was saying about the link. I was thinking, what? I couldn't able to find out any link like this. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, statistics, what do you want to teach? Give me an example.
Stats, the tree diagram. When it comes, actually, if I see the question, might be I can able to recollect the tree diagrams.
What is tree diagram?
Probability,
What is probability?
probability distribution and tree diagram.
What is probability?
Chances, sample space.
Then where is the diagram?
That's good.
2 times we are doing an experiment and recording for example, flipping a coin 2 times. So first one will come, second one will come. So tree will come 2 times. One more case, the tree will go like this.
So how do you know which are the number of links available?
Yes.
Number of, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you determine? Assume that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people are sitting. Assume only 2 of you are sitting. In which order you can sit? Either you can be here or you can be there.
That's
Either you can be here or you can be there. So 1 by 2. Fine. 3 are there. How many possibilities are there?
1 by 3.
for what possibility? It's a tossing a coin or a dice or what? What is the
See, that's what I'm
event?
saying. Number of options which you get.
Event. It depends upon the event
Even.
what we get.
So assume that always there is a restriction saying that
Mhm.
you have to be on my left only.
Mhm. Okay.
There is one rule there.
Mhm.
You have to move it together, right?
Yes.
So the probability is either independent,
Or dependent.
dependent.
That's true.
That is why we say 3C1
Mhm.
multiplied by
Yes. This
3C2
combinations and the combinations.
combinations. Got it? Assume that I have to pick up, there are 6 balls.
Mm.
Each ball is different color.
Okay.
What is the probability of getting red color? All the
One
balls are
over
different.
six. 1 over
1 by 6.
That's true.
But assume there are 3 different colors, but each one 2.
yes.
What is the probability of getting 2 red colors? Then you will have 6C3 divided by, it is divided by the
Probability.
condition, the 2C1. Understand? That's conditional probability. Read the book called Nadango.
What is the book?
Nadango.
Nadan.
Yeah, probability theory by Nadango.
Okay.
That's a basic book on this.
Engineering system.
Then
by
again,
any author.
again you get engineering statistics. Engineering mathematics, you get one chapter called statistics.
Mhm.
Now, mechanical engineering, what you wanted? No, mechanics.
No, actually mechanics, I just want to go through all the chapters. Like I'm preparing for myself, for the students also. That is totally different. But apart from that, I want to be master like how
See,
I'm in maths.
I'll tell you. A boy. Mechanics is always about impact,
Yes.
movement, travel. It all starts with Newton's laws. Newton's law. Assume one boy is standing there. Okay?
Okay.
You are going and hitting, not you. Boy only.
Okay, understood.
Assume there is a ball
Mhm.
and you throw a ball.
Mhm.
The ball goes and the ball which is existing there will move, not together. A ball is going and hitting another ball. What will happen? If the ball is moving faster, both balls will move in the same direction.
Yeah, that's correct.
Assume that the ball is going and hitting
Mm-hmm.
another ball, but the ball is a iron ball.
Okay.
What will happen?
It will come back.
No, the ball will go there, it will come back.
That's what. It will come back.
Correct?
Okay,
A negative velocity will be there.
Yes.
Why? Because this has more mass.
Yes.
So your movement depends on, the moment depends on, moment is the movement. Same word. Look at the dictionary. The moment depends on the weight of the item where you are hitting
That's what.
and speed of the item which you are hitting.
Mass times velocity.
Yeah, mass into
Mass times velocity.
velocity. That is called the momentum. Assume there is a bus. You go and hit the bus. Nothing will happen. But if the bus is moving, you go and hit the bus. So the velocity of the bus is 0, impact is less. Velocity increases, impact becomes heavy. This momentum is mechanical engineering, mechanics. Anything which moves, anything has got an energy.
anything there is a transfer of energy is what is mechanics. Now there is a fluid moving, that becomes fluid mechanics.
That's true.
There is a light moving, it becomes light optical flow. And there is something which is hiding, then the shadow comes. The boundary is here, beyond that the light is less. That's called a boundary condition. You start touching something, induction,
Yeah.
heat induction. That is conduction.
Thermal energy.
Yeah. Now assume that temperature moves with the wind, or you have a fluid which moves. It becomes convection and radiation.
Okay.
So the movement of that generates an energy transfer. Here it is a velocity transfer. There it becomes an energy transfer.
Energy transfer. There it comes, I think, adiabatic process for expansion and compression. Yes.
Now assume that there is a movement, but you stop the movement in a pressure cooker. So
How can I give the difference between the adiabatic process for the expansion and the
yeah,
compression?
that's what I'm saying. Assume that it expands inside,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a limit beyond which it cannot.
Go through.
That is the time when the sound
Yes.
comes. So that stage is called adiabatic.
Adiabatic.
Finished. It cannot
Okay,
go.
what is the difference between the expansion and the compression? You have a two.
Yeah. Now assume that here you are heating it up and
Okay.
expanding.
Okay.
In a tube, what is happening? Whatever is possible from externally in a tire,
Okay.
you are putting air so that whatever is the force inside the volume, you are increasing. Volume is not increasing. Here you are putting more items and then making it to stay together.
Mm-hmm.
So the air is supposed to have lot of gap in between.
Yeah, but they don't have a gap.
They will
so
not
then
allow.
comes at
It becomes compression.
Okay.
It's a compressed.
Okay. So in that case, there is no heat transfer.
So once you compress more, automatically it will get heated.
Okay. When you expand it.
Expand depends on the external temperature which you give.
Okay. Is there any possibility of chances when expansion the answer will be negative?
Expansion?
Yeah. In expansion the answer will be negative.
Which
and,
answer?
The work done. Work done.
Yeah, expansion work done can be anything.
It can be either negative or positive.
Negative or positive. Assume that I have got a ball
Mm-hmm.
which has got a full air, it jumps.
Okay.
When automatically it's a balloon, it bursts.
Okay.
What will happen? The effect is a negative. It bursts. Burst means at,
Alice.
good time is up.
Yeah. My time is up. If I start asking questions, I will keep on asking questions. That's what these people will not allow me to say it inside.
I love people who ask questions. Non-stop questions. That's what I like.
And
My name is DrTPS.
DPS.
Temperature pressure second. TPS.
Okay. Then there is no volume at all.
I create volume wherever I go. I am a friend of him, so I just.
Okay. PVT, ideal gas equation. So what's your
Pressure
name?
to volume becomes temperature, no?
Yeah.
Proportional to temperature.
Yeah, that's correct.
You give more pressure, don't increase volume, temperature
Here also we have the
increases.
condition, either it is inversely proportional or directly proportional.
That is why the volume of the cooker doesn't change. You are increasing the pressure
Okay.
by heating. The volume doesn't increase. So the temperature automatically goes up, that boils faster.
So okay, I have to take the lead. My students lead.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm also